hear that? Like the pulse in the street, a hole in the chest.
Yo! What's going on, my people? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I want to give a huge shout out to everybody right now watching the live stream. I'm simultaneously broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So shout out to everybody watching right now. If you're on YouTube right now, please hit that like button. It's definitely free. You know, hit that like button if you hate your baby moms. Hit that like button if you had a great day today. Hit that like button if you want some good fortune in the world. Hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are on Twitter, just retweet this broadcast. You know, so a lot more people can go and see it. So I want to give out a huge shout out to everybody in the chat. A huge shout out to everybody listening right now. A huge shout out to everybody commenting. I know Enter the Crisis says FBA ADOS were created in the purpose of divide and conquer. 100% true. I believe in that. I believe that was the purpose. Shane says, well, he meant to say last time. Last time I checked, black men make more money than Hispanic men. Yeah, you're right. You know, also says right here, good old FBA, gender tribalism, Hispanic men are luckily there. Women never adopt the culture of feminism. Man, it's gonna be a really, it's gonna be very, very, very hard for that to, you know, they're starting to adopt it. The Bunker TV says, I'm disappointed in you, radical. You just because we FBA don't mean we hate you. You always been cool. Why is this happening, bro? I haven't even said anything. Y'all haven't even heard my take. Y'all haven't even heard what I had to say. Jesus Christ. Just relax. Stop getting all triggered. God damn. John says certain people need to go back to school because grammar is not there. Okay. 18 letter says it's funny how these women in Section 8 babies that didn't need a man to destroy the community want black men that they didn't respect and build up something that they didn't destroy. Okay. All right. This is so funny. Looney Martinez is why we have a decline racial. Okay, it's not for the purpose of hatred. I'm going to talk about the Nuri Martinez thing on my podcast. On one of my podcast episodes that's going to come out. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm not going to make, it's going to be part of my podcast episode. But anyway, so I'm going to just let people just come on in to the room. I was sent this video a week ago. Of a black American female comparing her community to the Latino and Asian community. Now, before I play the video and let you guys see it, a couple of things I want to say. It's very easy to compare another community when you see your community as low or whatever the case is. It's easy to see the grass is always greener on the other side unless you actually been part of that grass, if you know what I mean. Latinos for the most part, we don't got it popping like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't got it popping like that. Do we have certain sectors and certain communities that we got it popping? Of course. But that doesn't make the whole community as a representation of it, because you are going to have your sectors that are beautiful, but also you're going to have your sectors that is messed up. Now, are these sectors a drop in the bucket? Of course it is. Of course, these sectors are going to be a drop in the bucket because a thriving Latino community is not going to literally weigh in on anything, then they messed up Latino community. At the end of the day, there is literally more messed up Latino communities out here than thriving. That's something that we have to understand. Now, once you have a community that is majority Latino, you are going to see two things. You're going to either see it being fucked up, or you're going to see it thrive. And you're going to see it thrive through commerce, people voting with their dollars and feet and stuff like that. And you know, and all that other stuff. But listen, I want to play the video and I want to break it down because, again, it's very easy to compare. It's very easy to look at another community when you're not really part of that community. You know what I'm saying? I could go to Chinatown right now and be like, God damn, these Chinese people are beating us and everything, when I'm not part of that community. It just seems like it from the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? So let me stop the music right quick, and I'm going to show you guys. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, so this is the video that I was sent. I'm gonna let you guys listen to the whole thing of what she said, and then from there we're gonna come back. Okay.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Hispanic meat market. Y'all see who going in there? Hispanic women. Y'all see that? They got fresh fruits and vegetables in this community for their women to be able to shop. See that? They got fresh meats. And they got butchers back there. They come into their neighborhoods. Listen. Y'all really don't want to talk about it. Y'all see how they women able to rest in their femininity? See, we know why y'all coming over to their neighborhoods. Because they men did their job. They men provided for their women. Let's keep going. This busy intersection. See what you got? Chinese herbs. Y'all see all that? You go across the street over there in that strip mall right there. Asian, Hispanic, Asian. Y'all see this? Cuban food truck. They may not have no full community, but you can damn well see where their men built a sense of community on American soil for their women. Y'all want to sit up there and clout chase and quote Kevin Samuels when he didn't have shit neither. We see why y'all love him, because he was very similar to many of y'all in our community. Got a whole bunch of damn mouth and ain't got shit to show for it. Yeah, we get it. This Wells Fargo that I work at, the bankers, Asian. The general manager, Asian. The tellers, Asian. I'm sorry. One of the managers that I'm talking to, he's Hispanic. You look over there, Asian. You go down there, Asian. And I ain't even gonna do y'all too bad and go across the bridge over to Tampa and show y'all these big, huge Hispanic grocery stores they building, all these Hispanic towns they building. So for all y'all who in my comment section fighting for y'all life, talking about old black men, let's go ahead and say that when it come down to it, for the past 40 to 45 years, y'all have built little of nothing for the community.
Okay, so you see, okay, this video gets a little wild. I totally understand if it might, bring them some feelings, but I want to know, do you guys agree with her? Do you guys disagree with her? I understand where she's coming from also, but I also understand there's a lot that it takes to build up a community. Let's keep it 1,000. I'm a business owner. I didn't just one day see the men in my community say, yo, you got to start getting your stuff together and get yourself a business. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. It took certain circumstances for me to actually start, doing what I got to do. Now, I understand if people want to take responsibility to their own hands and say to their men in their community, yo, you gotta show improve, but do you think she went about it the right way, or do you think that she went about it the wrong way? Because now, for example, I believe she's in Florida because by the fact that she talked about Tampa, so I'm thinking that she's in Florida. Now, there's certain pockets and sectors of Florida that are thriving Latino communities, and you are going to, if you live in an area like that, you're going to see a lot of Latino people breaking bread, doing business and stuff like that, and the thing is, if you live in a thriving Black American community, you're going to see the exact same thing. Now, I actually looked up thriving Black American communities because I know for a fact there has to be some. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact there has to be some. And based on my Google research, I found 10 cities that it says 10 best cities for African Americans based on population and also economic. Based on the 2004 2007 pure research, not pure research, I'm sorry, the census. This is what they concluded the 10 best cities to be. One of them is Atlanta, Georgia, and something I've already pretty much seen and known that Atlanta, Georgia by itself is a huge Black American community. And also there's a lot of Black American, businesses going on, entrepreneurship going on. But this is pretty much, it. Now, some people might say, hey, listen, this is a little outdated. Okay, granted, it might be outdated. But I also, took the time and saw the largest population with respect to the largest GDP when it comes to Black Americans. So for what I found was that according to this, Texas has the largest Black population, over 3.9 million, and the highest number of Black Americans could be found in Texas. Florida, Georgia, these are updated numbers, New York and California. Now, these are just the updated numbers of the majority of Black Americans due to population. Now, again, I can be in a Black American community and see it thriving, and I could say, hey, listen, our people got to start doing our thing. Our people got to start doing better. And it really depends on where you're at, because where I'm at in New York, I don't see a thriving Latino community. We could point to certain parts of Queens, but there's little pockets. We could point to Washington Heights, which is a huge Dominican community, but it's not thriving because it's being literally gentrified and bought out by white folks. So the thing is, I understand where she's coming from, but in the same time, I cannot say that she's 100% correct. Yes, thank you for the props that you given to Latinos, but I don't see it that way. I don't see it as a huge thing to put our, hang our hat on for that, because I don't see it in my community. I don't see the same level of intensiveness. I don't see the same level of entrepreneurship as I would see if I go to California, as I would see if I go to Texas. If I go to these places, yes, that's something I would see. I would see a high percentage of Latino entrepreneurship. The same way how I would see if I go to Atlanta, I'll see a high level of entrepreneurship in Atlanta because due to the population there. Now, my question is she right? Is she wrong? What do you guys think? Is she bugging? Did she do this for clout? Tell me what you guys think. So I got right now Rakim. Rakim, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's up, Radical? How you doing today, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I don't know if I said anything to offend anybody because I wasn't really saying crazy. But what do you think about my critique so far?
Well, I think it's more just an observance more than a critique. I think, your assessment is, it's
Yeah.
accurate to an extent. I, obviously, this woman don't know what the hell she's talking about. She's angry and she's bitter, and I don't see any type of black men building anything for women from the likes of her. Like she said, we haven't built up anything in the last 40 and 50 years. Black men have been building individually. Unfortunately, because of women like her in the last 40 and 50 years decided to go with feminism and they decided to go with government assistance. Therefore, everything, and also due to different chains like Walmart and different things coming into our communities, all of our mom and pop stores have fallen by the wayside. We had everything that every other community have. We had butcher shops, we've had grocery stores, different things like that. But once Walmart and different other groups, different other, grocery stores and everything started coming into our communities, a lot of those places had lost our businesses. And therefore, you see in a lot of areas, it's food deserts and various things like that. So,
Yeah. Do you think that the way she's coming about it, the way she's critiquing black men, do you think this is her way of trying to say, hey, I want you guys to do better?
no, no. See, a lot of women like her, you can just based off her tone, she's talking about not having a community when women like her have participated into destroying it. You know,
Ooh,
they
okay.
they they never, they don't have this type of respect for their male counterparts, yet they expect black men to build up something for women that don't appreciate or respect or even skip that, don't want to have black men in a position of leadership. They
Mm,
want they want black men to do things from a matriarchal standpoint where black men are still building, but the women is running it in the
yeah,
background.
like
That
I
doesn't
would
happen.
I would I would agree with you when it comes to the whole trope of I'm independent, I'm strong, but yet you can't. It's a contradiction. You can't have something like that, but yet ask your men to build also. You know what I'm saying?
The
It's
problem is, yeah, the problem is, man, she's coming up short. Like a lot of other these women, they believe the independent, strong trope. They sold out their men for crumbs. This whole narrative that was pushed with, a lot of these women being more successful than their male counterparts, and now reality is hitting them in the face because some of these people can't differentiate between reality and media and base what's off promoted to them. So now that a lot of these women are coming up short, evictions is starting to kick in heavy. Um, Inflation is kicking in heavy. Everything is going up high. Can be strong and independent when the government is starting to draw back off of those resources. And that can you? Can be
yeah,
strong and independent when you don't really make the amount of money that you need to make in order
yeah,
to be able to survive, especially when you have a whole bunch of student loan debt in the background from that degree that you wanted so badly just to flaunt in the faces of black men.
yeah,
So now that they realize that they're coming up short and that impact is hitting them heavy, now they want to see if they can shame black men into trying to build up something for a community
mm,
that never respected them. And they're
yeah,
trying to do it fast because they see how everyone else is operating, but they didn't value that
yeah.
before
Now,
this
now
situation.
let me ask you before I go to Kevin C. And shout out to Kevin C. for joining the room. Let me ask you something. Do I felt like it low key? I kind of felt like it was like kind of gender warish type of thing. You know what I mean? Type of like, how come our men ain't doing nothing? You see, other men are doing something. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like, yo, yeah, you're trying to start a gender war right now. You know what I'm saying? It kind of felt like that. Did you feel that too, or am I bugging?
man, I've been feeling that, like encountering women like that since I was a child, man. Um, yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it's not coming from a tone of respect. It's not coming from a tone of, hey, I want to speak to my brothers. I want for us to get some type of understanding. It's coming from a tone of, you need to build this and I demand it now. And it's coming from a tone of entitlement. Like, lady, who are you? Where's your relationship with the men in your life to help build you something?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, and especially from that type of disrespect, man, things can burn, and I wouldn't bat an eye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take you to Kevin C. Kevin C, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? And also, what are your thoughts on my? I don't know if you heard my assessment or my take on it, but if you did, what are your thoughts on that?
Hey, Rad, not to interrupt. Sorry, Kevin C. I just wanted to say shout out to Sergeant Willie Pete that is in the group chat. I came up off of your videos, a lot of your videos. I would definitely love this possibility if you could join the panel. But shout out to Sergeant
Oh,
Willie
okay.
Pete.
Shout out to Sergeant then. All right, cool.
Sergeant Willie P. Yeah,
I see. I see. He's in
he's an
the.
old G from the
I see he's in the
a
building right
a
now.
while
Oh,
back.
okay, he's in the building. Shout out to Sergeant. Okay, again, Kevin, I don't know if you heard my take on it, but what are your thoughts on my take, and what are your thoughts on the overall thing?
No, I didn't get the commentary. I did here's like the last part of it where you made the comparisons. You talked about the well-to-do neighborhoods or the best places to live as a Black person in America. Look, so man, I'm going to start my commentary off with a couple of questions for you, Radical.
Okay.
You're married, right?
Yeah, I am.
You have kids, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm about.
Okay, so
to.
let's assume. Okay, so you're probably planning for future children.
Yeah.
Do you run around, going out of your way, buying houses, cars, making sure that those people are eating every day for random women? Do you do that for random women and children? Is that your responsibility?
No, what? No. First,
my
wife will kill me. What the hell?
Okay.
On top of that, no. That's I earned that shit. What do you know what I mean? Like,
so this is my point, and I'm asking you this because I wanted to point out that I'm Black American, native born Black American. You're Latino. No one does this. No one does this. No one builds for random women. No one does things for random children. Unless we're going to help you out just, periodically just for like an incident or, you need some, you need help getting home or maybe we see you're in trouble or something like that. But no man does that. White men don't do it. Latino men don't do it. Asian men don't do it. Nobody does this. Nobody builds for a loose confederation of women and children. You want a man to do something for you, get a husband. That's the answer. Get a damn husband. All right. This woman is upset because she can't figure out how to get a husband. She can't figure out how to get a man to commit to her, to actually give her, things that she's looking for. A nice, comfortable life. Resting in femininity with what? With who? Does that sound like a woman that's resting in her femininity? Or even if you did anything for her, then maybe she might give you a short period of femininity and, be amenable for a short period of time. Do you think she could hold that for an entire lifetime? This woman was running around complaining on the video. She really made herself look stupid. I understand she's trying to embarrass Black men and shame, just like Rakim said, trying to shame Black men into doing a bunch of things and create basically create Wakanda.
Yeah.
So she can just walk in, lounge around, walk in, into a store and buy something and just, relax and not have to work where's your husband, lady? That's my question to women who make these type of videos, who have that sentiment,
and what I said,
make that complaint.
And what I
don't
said,
talk to me about what you have or don't have, or what men are doing or not doing. When the first thing you can't even get is a husband, get one first, and then come see me. Now, if he's not building for you, maybe he and I can have a discussion in the conversation.
Yeah. Right? What I said in the beginning, that you probably missed, is that it's very easy to see the grass is green on the other side when you're not part of that green grass. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's very easy for me to be a part of a community and then start complaining about my own community when I see the other communities doing way better or whatever the case is. You feel me?
And I just wanted to say something, Rad, because one thing she pointed out in the community in the last 40 and 50 years, black men hasn't built up the community. Well, she didn't go into detail and say how in the last 40 and 50 years, how black women have worked against black men into building up the community. She didn't say about that. Literally, black women have literally choose political parties, it's academia, and different things over black men, and wonder why they have a counterproductive community.
Yeah. No.
I hate
Yeah.
to make this-
I agree. I agree with that. But also, that's what I was saying. I was saying if I'm in a predominantly thriving black community, I'm gonna start seeing black entrepreneurship, and it's very easy for me to make a video about that and say, "Look, Latinos, how come we're not doing anything?" You know what I'm saying? So I understand that there's huge, large pockets of Latinos in Florida and in California and so on and so forth. And I understand with those large pockets, you are going to have a certain sector that is going to be thriving. I get that. That's something that's not lost on me. But I think it's very low to start comparing and then start saying, well, you guys haven't built nothing if you haven't really explored. And that's the reason why I brought in some stats. Atlanta, Georgia is a huge black American community, thriving place where entrepreneurships are black. They're black Americans, and it's a slap in the face to black Americans to just ignore that and point to a certain part of Florida. You know what I mean? That's my thing on it.
Well, it's not just that, look, I hate to do it, but I'm the guy that's going to bring up the history, right? Right.
Yeah.
So for 250 plus years, black people were shut out of actually opportunities based on being enslaved. 100 plus years after that, for another 100 plus years after that, black people were allowed to do only certain, participate in certain economic areas. You can only do this, and this. Most of it was entertainment, sports, mom and pop shops. You can actually build stuff up in your neighborhood, but as far as corporations actually owning, major organizations and businesses and stuff like that, where you can actually have economic power, control, and actually political influence, black people were prevented from doing those things. I don't know why people forget that. Well, not even they don't forget it. They just completely dismiss that. Economists actually estimate that if we started today, all things being equal, we eliminated, I suppose the racism and everything else, which that's not going to go away. But if we did everything right, starting today, it would take black people almost 230 years to get at least some relative equity to where white people are. That's how long it would take. 230 plus years.
Kevin, I got a question for you. And this is from the chat, and I'm gonna ask you this question, and then I'm gonna move it to Denisse. Shout out to Denisse for coming in. One of the questions is, why Black Americans are the only group of males that try to remove themselves from responsibility. And what would you answer to that?
It goes back to families. So look, random men are not responsible for a loose confederation of women, children, and everybody else. If you want men to take responsibility, then you need to link up with a man and actually, have him be responsible for you, the children that you guys produce, and then you take it from there. The family is the building block of everything.
Yeah.
All right. You don't have communities if you don't have families. Look, it's interesting that you're doing this. This is really a black issue, so I'm not really. I don't know if the reason for this video was to compare, Hispanics to Black Americans.
Well, a black woman made the video. I'm just responding to it.
But I mean, honestly, I see this as a black issue, not really anybody else's issue, because what it does, it opens the door to people looking at black people who don't really know what's going on, or they just dismiss the idea of what's really happening between black men and black women. So when you ask if it's gender warish, yeah, it is gender warish. Now, that being said, there are some people working behind the scenes to facilitate a gender war. If I'm a black man and I'm a criminal out here running around all over the place, creating chaos and dysfunction and in and out of jail, people love that. You know what's more dangerous than me doing all of those things?
What?
Me being hardworking, intelligent, responsible, productive, and taking care of my family, and building and actually doing what everybody says they want us to do. That's actually more dangerous because, for example, matter of fact, you mentioned Atlanta, Georgia. This was a statement that I was doing some history. Of course, I read a lot of history and I, do a bunch of research and look at studies and stuff like that. So it all kind of cross relates. But in the early 1900s, somebody, and I'm going to try to summarize the statement so I can get on to the next thing. But basically, the statement was, this is early Atlanta, Georgia, shortly after enslavement, early 1900s. And they were talking about the black men and black people and what they would like to have seen out of black people. And these were city council leaders, and they were white, and I know it was early 1900s because they used the word Negro, but their preference would have been to actually have 500 instead of having 500 productive Negro men running around doing the right thing and actually being productive and building communities. They would rather have 500 criminal Negro men, and the reason is that you can control the criminals, but you can't control how successful a man is going to be once he actually starts building something. If he actually gets to the point where you can't control him, you can't, influence him in any way to where he actually has political power, economic strength, educational power, and he actually can build a quality of life for his people, well, then you can't control the black population. But if you got 500 black people running around committing crimes, getting in trouble all day, those are easy to control. You just round them up and throw them in jail. That's actually a statement, and if I can find it, I'll go back and look it up because I think I copied and pasted it somewhere and put it in a report someplace. But the thing is that we live in a country where we have a collective of people who would rather see black people being failures while they sit here and whine and complain about it and make a bunch of noise versus actually seeing black people be constructive, because black people have been constructive the whole time of their presence in North America and what eventually becomes the United States. So, it's frustrating to see women, and I don't expect this out of, I expect this out of, other groups who don't like black people. I expect a whole lot more from anybody who's black. And that includes black immigrants too. If you're black and you're over here, you become part of the situation that black people are going through. So I expect you to know what's going on. I expect you to see what's happening as it relates to politics, economics, education, and all the other struggles that black people have, and then try to deal with this. Now, as far as this dude talking about black men trying to get out of responsibility, no, absolutely not. Look, here's the deal. Men who are responsible, productive, and actually hardworking and law-abiding and actually are contributing members of society and doing the right things, those men are easy to find. Are women picking those men? All right?
I wanted to speak on that too.
All right, you can't sit here and whine and complain about guys running from responsibility when you as a woman have the freedom to pick any man you want. Nobody's forcing anybody to find like the worst guy, the losers, the deadbeats, the career criminals, produce babies with them. And then when those guys run away from responsibility, now you're upset about it. Did you pick a guy who's responsible? Did you pick a guy who's actually a builder? Or did you pick a loser from the beginning so that way you can run around with your little camera, to a Hispanic community?
So you're saying black women should be with Latinos? Oh shit! No, I'm playing.
Well, we have responsible black men. You know how many black men are in the middle class right now, based on percentages? You know how many black men are in the middle class or better? You have any idea about that?
Percentages? I'll probably say like a good 33%.
Absolutely not. You'd be way off. See, that's the problem. 60%. Actually, I want to say 64%. Oh, okay. 64. I know it's over 60. Let's just say over 60%. Okay. Not quite 70%, but 60%. 60% plus of black men are in the middle class or better. That's not me writing that up or coming up with that. That's a statistic from look it up, American Enterprise Institute. Yeah. It shows that about almost 60% of black men are middle class or middle class. And when you add the black men who are wealthy and independently wealthy, the rich athletes and celebrities, stuff like that, and the people who are independently wealthy, that's over 60%. You telling me as a woman, you can't figure out how to find one of those men, marry him, link up with him, and do something with him? So what she really did, and I hate to say this, is that she actually identified herself as somebody who is not doing the right things as a woman. So what men are starting to do, we're not going to sit here and listen to black women or any other woman from any other race, by the way, white, black, Asian, or Hispanic, sit here and talk about, what black men are doing or not doing, when we know for a fact that, the vast majority of black men are productive. They're hardworking. They're contributing members of society. Yeah. So, and this is why a lot of people don't like talking to me, because And I'm not saying you know, I don't expect you to know a whole lot about black people because you're not black. You can know some stuff because it's the same thing as I don't really need to know really what's going on in the Latino community because I'm not Latino. I don't really live in those communities. I'll dip in and out. I move in around those circles and stuff like that. But I don't see Hispanic issues as my major problem because you guys aren't coming to me to fix your issues. You know, I'm going to black people and black leaders to fix black issues. So I don't expect. So the fact that you were like, you know, you put 30% of black men in the middle class, and then you didn't know that, it's not a knock against you. I don't really expect you to. But my thing is that kind of points to, you know, what people don't know about us as black men. You know, most of us don't have criminal records. Okay, so you can't have the excuse that, well, all of us are in jail. That's not true either. Yeah. You know, over 6% of black men don't even have criminal records. Did you know that a lot of black men don't even have kids?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know that either listening to people on social media. You wouldn't know that listening to the mainstream media. You wouldn't know any of that stuff. Yeah. Every day I wake up, I look at the news. I get on the internet, and I'm not just wasting time. I look at look at the mainstream media. I look at CNN, Fox, HLN, ABC, NBC, all of this stuff, and then on top of that, I look at people who are actually reporting the news. I look at articles all over the world, information, and you know what? I find criminals, deadbeats, losers, and irresponsible people in all these races. And that's probably what's more frustrating than anything.
I want to
go ahead, Rakim, and then I'm gonna let Denisse go.
I'll go ahead and stop right there.
Okay, I just wanted to say shout out to Denisse. Happy birthday to my sister Denisse.
Oh, it's your birthday! Oh shit! Happy birthday, Denisse!
But first and foremost, I just wanted to say, and also we got to look at a lot of people. Like I said before, a lot of people. First off, black people have built a lot of things in society under a situation of duress. It's a lot of people that would not be able to even survive what black people was going through in the United States, from experiments to fire to lynchings to church bombings.
Hello?
Did you cut out?
Oh, they got him.
Hello?
The internet gremlins.
Yo.
Yeah, but he was kind of running down the history of things that black people have been through.
They got him. So, but wait, real quick. Denisse, go ahead because I wanted you to talk after Rakim. But go ahead, Denisse.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone that's wishing me a happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy
birthday to you, Denisse. I hope you don't say anything I disagree with. I don't want to disagree with you on your birthday.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say something before I start. I understand that you disagree with certain things I say, and I respect that because that's your right. What I will appreciate before we start our interaction today is that if you disagree, please let me finish my point, and then you disagree at the end.
I will. I will do that. But if you're wrong, I gotta interject immediately and tell you.
No, if I'm wrong in your opinion, because in my opinion, I'm still gonna be right because it's my opinion.
Because
but I also no, I have no problem. I have no problem with disagreements. The thing is that I would like to finish my point before I'm interrupted. So I appreciate
I'd like you to open a statement though, but go ahead.
Thank you very much. Now, one thing I would say is that look, I'm gonna be a little bit long-winded with this because Rat and everyone that has been watching me knows my stance on this stuff. I find it very disingenuous when people open their mouth without going through the numbers. There's certain things I'm going to address with this lady. The only thing I disagree with you, Kevin, is the fact that you said that this is a black issue and nobody else knows this. Look, we all can see it with you guys. The person that whoever is disingenuous in today's era and doesn't see how unruly and out of order a lot of black ladies have become, it's literally just hating and disingenuous completely. Okay? Because we have seen how they have become. I get it that they admire other communities, like for example, the Latino community. Yes, we do have a very strong family mindset that you stick to your men, and we all have those tias and those abuelas and those moms that, your husband was the crappiest man on earth, but once he dies, he was an angel. That woman stood by him no matter what. That woman never had that whole, oh, I'm going to leave you, I'm going to divorce, I'm going to, do
Shout
all
out
these
to my
things.
Uncle Tito.
So, to be honest, we have those things because the women in our position as women is that we are the glue that holds the family together, because the father is outside working at whatever job he could get or his skills allow him to get, from like very top or all the way to the bottom. And our job is to raise these children with not only gratitude, but a system of values and understanding their role. And eventually the boys go and learn with the father, the girls stay with us and learn with us. So, to be honest, if black ladies are making this type of black ladies, because there's also a pocket of black women in America that are not like this, they understand what I'm saying. So this pocket of black women that are making these statements, I have a lot of questions for them. My first one is, if you really feel this way about the brothers not having this whole platform and not building stuff for their women, the first thing I would say is that, why then 81 in 4 black women marries in her lifetime? Not only black men, anyone. Because if the problem was black men, then why you're not marrying anybody else? Why only 1 in 4? That's statistics. I'm not making this up. You can go look it up yourself. 1 in 4 marries in her lifetime. And out of that 1 in 4, about that 25% of them marrying, half of that will divorce within 5 years. So that means that you can get only 1 wife out of every 8 women in the African American community today, which is shameful, because if you go to the past, the black community used to be the most married community. So women stop doing this stuff. You get my point? So that's the first thing I would say to this type of lady. The second thing I would say is, if you're so worried about black employment or black unemployment, then why you guys always want to bully your men to vote Democrat? Because last time I checked, and again, you can go and check this yourself, since we started documenting unemployment rates, the president that had the lowest black unemployment rate was Donald Trump. And that is a record. That is the first record. That is not even, you can go and look for whoever, and that is a record. That is true.
It's usually Republicans. You're right.
It's 6 point. Yeah, but he had it more than any other president in 45 years.
No, you're right.
In 45 years, he made sure that there were more employments reserved for black people. So why then you go and vote against the interests of your own men? I vote for whatever my husband votes. As a matter of fact, yesterday we got our mail-in ballots, and he knows I'm going to mirror his ballot, because he's going to vote towards his interests. So I'm going to vote to whatever facilitates his interests. That's what you do. That's your job with your vote. But you want to go against your man and then tell them, oh, you're supposed to go over there with cape and spade and make something happen. Out of what? The world's not going to stop working the way it works. So that's another thing that I would say to this lady. If you want your men to be on top, you got to help them out. That's your job. We do that to our men. Then you got to do the same thing. You got to do the same thing. You can't vote against your men. Now, the third thing I would say, because that's exactly what Morena said, unity. You got to move as a unit. Another thing I would say, I'm going to share this real quick, because I know a lot of people get triggered and whatever, but I'd like to come with numbers. I'm going to share this. If you can share it, I will appreciate it. This is from the CDC. This is not, and I'm going to show it. I don't know if you're sharing it. This is not for me. This is not a Denisse thing. I'm going to go up so you guys can see it.
I'm sharing it. By the way, I don't know if you see the screen. I'm
sharing. Yeah, I can see it. This is not me. This
I'm very familiar with this report.
This is the CDC. Now, this lady was claiming
Is this
Right.
fertility of men and women?
No. Let's get to where we're gonna go.
Yeah, I know where she's going, but go ahead.
This lady was claiming that their men are not taking care of the women, that men are doing this, and that. But this chart over here, I want you guys to understand, this is divided between male and female. Hold on, let me look for the one that's
Well, Denise, what's a female?
no.
Let me stop. I'm playing.
Stay on track,
I'm gonna
Radical. Stay
go.
on track.
I'm gonna
Denise
go.
actually is
I'm
going
gonna
somewhere
go.
with this.
We don't know what that is. I'm trying to look specific for one specific page. But meanwhile, I'm
To
looking
be
for that
fair,
specific
anything
page.
could be a woman. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. Go ahead.
Anyone can be a woman, huh? No, but
Exactly.
seriously, I'm gonna explain what I'm talking about, because this is something that a lot of people try to skip, and I'm gonna explain why.
They don't
Look,
skip it, they overlook it and dismiss it.
yeah, they don't. People don't read. That is the problem. We're gonna see here the number of children born to women by race versus the number of babies born made by men according to race. And you're gonna see
what?
here.
Oh, no,
I'm gonna explain to you.
Okay,
No, I'm
okay,
gonna.
okay. Explain.
A lot of these ladies, and this I've had this discussion with many Black ladies that are on the unruly side, and they always get triggered by this, but this is reality. If you make a baby with a man, that man is responsible for you and your child. And before people attack me, my husband is African American. He is responsible for me and my child. Okay, so I'm not preaching something that I don't live by. He's not gonna expect my community to provide for me, random men from my community. He's out there every day, 12 hours a day, doing everything he can so that I'm protected and our kids are protected. So again, let's go by the chart, and I'll prove to you that these ladies are asking for this man more stuff than they should take care of. We're gonna go. It says number of children born to women aged 15 to 44 in the United States from 2011 to 2015. If you go, it tells you all the ones that are married or cohabitating or even single. But we're gonna just focus on the numbers based on birth. Hispanic of Latina women have had 12,303 babies. If you go to the Latino men, we have the same, but with the men that have fathered these kids. Latino men have created or fathered 600 kids without their women, outside of their community with somebody else, with a 12,908. Okay. Now, if we go back to the women, the non-Hispanic or Latina, we go to the white single race, white people, white women have had 34,000 babies, 87. But their men have fathered 2,000 kids more, 34,304. Compare it to them, and they have fathered more kids. Now, if you go to the black women, right, they have had, and this is per capita. Let's not forget that this is per capita. If you go to the African American women, they have given birth to 8,407 kids. Meanwhile, their men have only fathered 7,286. Do you notice a pattern that the men
I'm kind of confused.
I'm gonna explain to you. The men in every community.
What does it mean that
Hold
fathered
on.
the kid?
It means they produce the kids.
That the black
okay, I'm
men
sorry.
did not make those kids. If you notice, in every community, the males have fathered more babies than their women have given birth to. Do you notice that trend? But then when it gets to the black community, black women have produced more babies than what their men have created. So you're having all these kids with other men. Why are you only asking black men to do these things? What's going to happen? Because the numbers go to 1.2 million biracial babies that are made with other people. That is a reality. You're making these kids outside of your community. And this is just till 2015. We haven't made the count now. Okay? Now that it has gotten worse, 7 years later, we know that the number is higher. Now, my thing is, if you have 54% of Black men don't have kids and have never been married, where are all the single women that have children are going to make these babies with? Why they're not demanding those same standards from the men that they made these kids with? And why they expect Tyrone to take care of Jose's kid and Brad's kid? Let's keep it real. Every man in all of these communities have had a Black baby at some point. Some of the groups, I'm not talking every single man, but all those groups have fathered more kids. So you're giving it to everybody else but your men. And then you complain about the fact that you're unprotected, that your kids are unprotected, unprovided for. Then why you're doing this?
Shout out to Tyrone, Brad.
Let's just keep it real. Like if you're going to do this, because it's starting to see like these ladies have unfinished business with their Black fathers, and they're projecting that upon the Black men. There's plenty of Black men out there that they can date that are sustainably employed, that are in the middle class. The majority of them are childless and single. So why do you have to trash your men? And another thing, and this is where I will conclude, why do you have a standard for Black men to produce an amount of money that even by yourself you can produce, when in reality, at the end of the day, you were not even raised in that socioeconomic bracket? You're demanding that Black men in this, even there's poor white people. Let's keep it real. There's poor white men, poor Latinos. Latinos don't have a lot of money. We're just in large numbers. That's why it looks like we have a lot of buying power.
Facts.
But I have a whole platform that speaks about this with stats. So at the end of the day, why are these women demanding that the man be 6 figures, making 6 figures a year, is 6 feet tall, and has a 6-pack in order for them to quote unquote be feminine to their men? You're supposed to be feminine. You're supposed to be a wife before he finds you. You're supposed to be ready, but you want to be out here twerking, showing your behind, doing all these disgusting things, being unruly, being out of freaking order, yelling at the top of your lungs with 2-yard long lashes, with several kids from other men from other communities, and then now you want to come to them, oh, come save me. No, sis, I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. That's all I got to say.
Wow. Okay.
And I wanted to finish up my point because I got kicked out for one real quick.
You got cut off. I'm sorry, Rakim.
No, it's all good. It's all
coming
good.
back in. Rakim, finish what you got to say.
No, I was just going to say, for the guy that had said what he had said in the comment section about why Black men don't accept their responsibilities. One thing I've noticed about some dudes like him is that, like I said before, the key word, insecurities, because I've just noticed there's just so many people that compare their work, our worst to their best, to make themselves feel adequate, to make themselves feel like they're better than somebody. Me, I'm a Black American. I was born and raised here. My family go back from generations here. I wouldn't dare, and shout out to the Latin community, because y'all know I got love for y'all in through and through. But I wouldn't take an immigrant that just got here from El Salvador or someplace like that and say, you know what, these people are so broke, poor, and uneducated. Look at them. Look how they got to come over here. I wouldn't do something like that. And the reason why I wouldn't do nothing like that is because I understand the circumstances that they're in. I understand the history. I understand the history of the United States destabilizing Latin American countries, pretty much zapping up the resources, taking politicians and putting them in there that's going to service their own agenda and completely disregard the people forcing the people have to go to neighboring states or to the United States in order to find a better life for themselves just because they're trying to survive. So it would be foolish of me to even compare myself to somebody like that. When it comes to criminal activity, hell, you got the Norteños, the Serranos, the Mexican Mafia, the cartels, different criminal organizations on the East Coast, all of that are non-black that are doing exactly what's going on in some of the black communities. But I don't make that comparison to do anything like that because I don't feel like I need to act like I'm better than somebody, knowing that if I was in the circumstances that they was in, it's a possibility I'll be making those same choices. Now, with that being said, what this lady was talking about earlier as well, is they don't talk about how a lot of these boys that's doing all of these murders in Chicago, all of these murders in Philly, all of these murders in New York, Detroit, and all other crosses the inner cities, are a lot of these kids was birthed because of the welfare system and Section 8 assistance. It was at one point, it was a hustle for some of these women, not all, because I got a lot of love for sisters that support me and support other black men. But it was a lot of these women that turned around and they used Section 8 as a hustle, and they got it from their mothers, and their mothers turned around and, gave them the game for the hustle. So a lot of these women had kids by different men, and they never really showed any love for the kids. So now you got a kid that don't have a family foundation, lack of resources, growing up in the projects or in some rundown ghetto, and then the only type of media promotion he sees of himself is drill music and gangster music, and so he's searching for himself to feel like he's somebody important. A lack of self-worth has been instilled in him as well. So the only thing he knows how to do is go out here and sell dope, because in a lot of cases they don't want to admit this either. You have some of these women in the ghettos that push their sons out there to sell dope because they don't have any money, or they frustrated with their situation and they really don't care about the kid. So they turn around and they tell him, well, I don't have any money. You better go out there and hustle. Some kids do it the right way. Some kids do it the wrong way. For instance, you got kids out there. I mean, we popularized the term hustle. We popularized the term get it how you live. You got some young boys out there that go out there and sell candy. They go out there and sell water. They go out there and sell socks. They knock at people's doors and say, hey, excuse me, sir, do you need your grass cut? Do you need your snow shovel? I'll walk your dog. It's a lot of black youth that do that. But then there's another group of black youth that say, you know what, I'm going to try to sell dope because I need the easy money. I'm trying to get out this situation. Not saying that's always the case, but a lot of the times that there is. So you got these boys that have a lack of self-confidence instilled in them, a lack of self-worth. So therefore, guess what? With all of those elements combined that I said, they don't care about anybody and they don't care about themselves. They don't care about if they die or anything, and they just out there just living. And if it's smoke with rival blocks or whatever, then it's gonna be gunplay, and that's just the way it goes. But nobody wants to have that conversation though.
Yeah, hey, Radical, and that's a good. Those are good points.
Okay,
outstanding.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I want to elaborate on what Denisse was talking about. So, look, this is the reality. Okay, you don't know about the Memphis Three, but I do. The Memphis Three are 3 black men in Memphis, Tennessee, who created 78 children with 47 different women. You know how many men those were? 3. Okay. I'll go ahead and answer. It was kind of rhetorical, so I gave you the answer. 3 black men created 78 children out of wedlock with 47 different women. All right. You got guys like Jay Williams down in Atlanta, Georgia, 34 kids, 17 different women. There's a black guy that works at McDonald's. I can't remember his name or where he's from, but he kind of went viral a little bit. Works at McDonald's, black guy. He's got 17 different kids. None of those men are married. I just named 5 men right off the rip. Now, those men are extreme examples, but the general average is somewhere between 3 to 6. All right. I would say 3 to 5 or 6 kids by men who are running around making babies with different women. And when you have 4, 5, 6 kids all over the place, there's no way you can be an active father or a contributing father or actually contribute to those kids financially. Not only that, some knucklehead working at McDonald's, why does he have 17 kids? You see what I'm saying? So this is what's going on. And what happens is when we have these conversations among black men, who know what's going on, we talk about this. We discuss this at family reunions and locker rooms. we discussed it, at the barbershop and stuff like that. You can literally look around. Even Denisse at this point knows, and she actually put this out. Never married black men, 54%, no children. All right. I know it was over 50%. It fluctuates somewhere between 51 to 54%, something like that. But the bottom line is we have over 50% of black men never married, no children. That means half of black men are not even part of the problem of creating these kids all over the place. And then she just threw up the stat. And I knew that. That's why I said I knew where she was going, because that's a National Health Statistics report. That comes from the Center for Disease Control, which tracks male fertility, ages 15 to 44. Over 1.2 million in the last 5 to 6 years, over 1.2 million babies have been born to black women by non-black men. All right, that's white, Hispanic, and even some Asian men. Not black men, just other men who are not black. So you can't, and what happens is those men aren't marrying those women either, and then those babies get dumped on black men, or at least women are trying to dump those babies on black men. All right, that's not our responsibility. Here's how men respond to this. They see you, they see a kid that they didn't produce, they don't have any kids, they haven't been married, you're off the table as a candidate for a wife, right from the rip. See, and that's what women have to actually deal with.
That's true.
And the expectation is for men who don't have kids. I don't know if 18th letter, I don't know if Rakim is married, but let's just say he's not married with no children. It is not his responsibility to show up and take care of 2 or 3 kids that are not his children. And I'll tell you, not only should he not do that, and by the way, I have a son. I did not put 18 plus years into getting my son to adulthood so he could go and raise 2 or 3 kids that aren't his. He's supposed to be finding a wife with no children, producing children with her, and raising those kids, his kids, my grandkids, and not some other man's kids. That's what I'm teaching him.
Yeah. Now, so, let me ask you, Kevin C. And I hate to play devil's advocate here. Let me ask you, do you think, going back to that same comment, do you think everything that you just said right now, do you think that some people lack that self-responsibility or lack that thing that they were taught, saying that you're not supposed to be doing this, you're not supposed to be having kids out of wedlock, you're supposed to be having a future, and also not only having the future, but getting your spouse together and building up. So going back to that comment, do you think that from everything that you're saying, do you think that self-responsibility also gets attributed to that?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, though. Yeah, self-responsibility and taking accountability for your actions and behavior, whatever they are, is always on you. We've had these conversations before. I never dismiss personal responsibility and accountability. All I'm saying is don't put a responsibility that you created outside of normal circumstances on somebody else. And I'll tell you something else too. It doesn't matter whether you were taught or not. Once you become 18 and you're an adult, legal age adult, you can make adult decisions. If you're out here having sex and producing kids, then your automatic response should be to figure out how to take care of those kids with the guy that you had those children with, whether he's white, black, Asian, or Hispanic. And Denisse, she did a really outstanding job of bringing up the receipts. The report. Most black men in the black manosphere are actually very familiar with that report. We've been talking about it for the last couple of years now, especially when that report came out, and men kind of ran into that. That information was actually kind of disseminated by a guy who's very popular in the black manosphere. But we've known about this for a long time, that literally 1 million plus children are born to non-black men. Those kids are not our kids. All right. So what they should have done was married the men that they had those kids with. And what we have now is a situation, it's saturated right now. We have more women with children than we actually have men with children. It would be different if it were a 1-to-1 ratio. If one black man produced a child with a black woman, and you know what, whether they were married or not, that's his responsibility. That's very easy. When you got one guy producing, 6 kids with 4 or 5 different women, or one man producing 34 kids with 17, or 3 men producing 78 kids with 47 different women, all those women are off the table for marriage. Those women have literally written themselves off as future wives. And what they do, instead of actually just, and that's what they want to do. That's fine. That's what they want to do. But instead of actually struggling in silence and dealing with the issue that's been created, then it's like, hey, you black men better step up to the plate and deal with this. I, for one, will not sacrifice myself or my son, and I would not recommend to any man who's never produced children, who's never been married, to actually deal with a woman who already has children. Now, women can go, well, somebody needs to take care of these kids. Yeah, the fathers do. Those fathers need to do that. The guy who produced that shit. And if you can't do that, well, then you just have to suffer in silence. And that's what women are not doing. I don't know if that woman has ever been married. I don't know if she has any children in wedlock, out of wedlock. I doubt she's ever had a husband, because just the fact that she's went out of her way to make a video in order to try to expose black men, all she really did was expose herself and then generate questions for people who are non-black. So you saw that video and said, you know what the heck is this about? Let me do a little bit of research. Let me ask some questions. And predictably, I came on up, and, guys like Rakim, who kind of come up here regularly to talk about black issues. Notice I don't talk about Latino issues. I'm only here for black issues. You talking about a black issue. So I'm here to kind of give some clarification on that. But the bottom line is women and men. But again, nobody can create situations and then say, hey, look, I need all you guys like Rakim, who's not married with no children, to come over here and fix the mess that I made. That's not how it works.
I would agree with Baby Rodriguez. All this confusion, marriage is safer. I would agree with that.
But you know what's the problem with that, with this modern black ladies that we have today, is that they decided to trade. Look, I'm gonna explain this. I don't know if you guys have heard, and I think Kevin and Rakim can answer this, and even you, Rad. We have heard a lot. I don't know if you remember, Rad, when last year I was getting attacked by all this black ladies that were even going at my husband, calling him gay for some reason, because I wasn't,
you a pygmy and stuff.
A pygmy and a mommy and whatever. Look, haven't you guys heard from the same type of women the concept of generational wealth?
Absolutely. Generational wealth, protection, building,
all the time.
And all of the stuff that they keep talking about.
All the time they keep talking about generational wealth. I'm going to tell you something. The word is self-explanatory. Generational wealth. Why Latinos have a more stable base? Now it's getting corrupted because now it's our turn for the media to corrupt the Latino male figure. I don't know if you guys have catch up on that, but
Latinas are kind of I know
derailing. We're getting derailed because our marriage rate went from 89% to 62%. It's not really pretty. But anyway, going to back to what I was saying.
Goddamn Puerto Ricans. No, I'm just
it's Daddy Landlord. No, but seriously, look, the problem is that wealth is created through generations. When you come here, I'm gonna talk about Latinos here, right? When Latinos come here, they have nothing but the share on their back, and they work the minimum wage job, and they buy a very messed up house and whatever they can get. And sometimes they don't even buy a house, but they put their kids through college. They make sure that they learn the language properly, whatever. So the kid makes a little bit better than them and has a professional job. And that kid purchases a better house and creates his family. And those kids actually have a little bit of funds to go do something. And that's how generational wealth is built. You get my point? So like when these ladies talk about generational wealth and what other communities have, sis, again, it starts with you. You are the glue. You got to stay. And doesn't matter, oh, my man cheated. You know how many Latinas have gotten cheated on through, I don't know, the last 100 years? The Latinas,
there's love songs about it.
How many? Look, my grandma stick to her dude through a lot of stuff that I'd rather not disclose, okay? And she raised those 12 kids, and he had a whole freaking kid outside the marriage, okay? So
like a real man.
And she served him as his wife until the day she died. So again, are you staying? And that is the thing. Latinas, we might have an attitude. We're fiery and whatever, but we stay. That is a thing that a lot of these women nowadays are not actually understanding. And I can keep going because I've heard so much of them.
You know what, Denisse? Let me test that theory out. I'll be back. No, I'm just
no, seriously, that is the thing. You gotta stay because you gotta understand that. Look, marriage is not for love. You don't marry for love, and that's something that was taught to me when I turned 18. You're never going to marry for love. Love comes after, with years, and after you go through so many things together and survive. Now, you're not going to marry for love. And even if you do, love fades. And to be honest with you, when you go through the years with your man, at some point he's going to disappoint you and you're going to disappoint him. You're going to hurt each other, because when you care for someone, that's where the biggest hurt comes from. It's like Bob Marley used to say, everybody's going to hurt you. Everybody that you love is going to hurt you. You just got to decide who's worth taking a bullet for. So when you evaluate that, you got to see that at some point you're going to have to stay in your relationship for duty. And that is something that a lot of people get irritated by, especially modern ladies. Oh, like, I'm not a slave. You tell them about submission. That's another thing. You got to be submissive. They think it's that man is going to control you, when submission is you trusting that man. I don't know how many times I have
Denisse,
to say this.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that some men are not worth being submissive to? Like, let's be honest. You could be a woman and be submissive to every man. That doesn't mean that they're going to lead you to the right path, right?
No, but the thing is, that's the thing, Rod.
You know the answer for that, Rod?
You're already, no, but
That's a
hold
good
on.
question.
That's the problem. The problem is that you're already inserting that in. That's what men today have a difficult time dealing with women, because submission is not about control. Submission is about trust. I trust that my man has my best interest at heart. And I come from that standing because I trusted my father, and my father protected me and took care of me. So I'm going to do the same with my man. If he fails, then I will act accordingly. But submission is not negotiable. It's not a negotiable thing. I'd rather have a woman marry for submission than for love, because that is something. Love is conditional, submission is not. So it's something that you already give, and everything that you do in life is a risk. Going into your vehicle, for the women that are like, oh, like, no, you have to be careful with men. Getting into your vehicle today to drive whatever, you took a major risk of losing your life. So what do you have to lose to just take a chance on someone? And if they're not who you expected them to be, you evaluate the situation. And if you have kids, there's an added layer of duty. You realize, hey, can I make an arrangement with this man where I can stay for the sake of the kids? Because a lot of people don't like to talk about that, but you do got to stay for your kids, because the outcome is better when you stay.
Fuck
when
that.
you
They're
don't,
grown.
no, when
Even
you
if you don't stay together, if you work together, even if you don't stay together,
but
you work together.
But the problem is that 9 times out of 10, we don't want to work with the men. You get my point? We don't want to. An example of that I was telling Rakim the other day. I don't know if you guys have watched Boys in the Hood. Do you guys notice the woman that was working with the man and say, hey, I'm going to drop you off your father so he can continue raising you? And they had a good relationship. Look at that outcome. But then you look at the neighbor's angry, bitter baby mama. What was her result? You get my point?
Two of her sons got shot.
Wait. So to the fellas in the room and in the chat, would you allow? What if this person tells you that they'll be submissive to you? Will you allow it? Would you allow this? No. I you know what? I feel what you're saying, Denisse.
That's clearly a trans person, so we're not doing it.
You got to chill on the Hope Giselle picks.
Denisse went on for a second, but the question you asked too about men who are not worthy to submit to, you don't even engage in those men. That's the answer. That's the Occam's razor. Occam's razor is basically the simplest solution is the best solution, right? You don't engage those men. If you're a woman and you can't find a man and the man that you're dealing with is not worthy of your submission, disengage. Don't spend more than 2 or 3 weeks out. Some people say it takes a few months. I get it, but I wouldn't waste 2 or 3 weeks. I wouldn't waste 2 minutes, submitting to a man who's unworthy of my time, effort, energy, attention, youth, beauty, femininity, womb, all of that stuff. We have women literally giving it away for free.
Well, let me ask the black men here in the room for 1 second, and if some black men also in the chat could chime in, please do so. I hear what most black men are talking about, but in the same time, I've dated multiple black women, and I've never, ever, ever gotten the talk back. I've never gotten the bitchiness. I've gotten was
Rod,
bro,
wait,
bro,
hold
let me
on.
stop you right there.
Let me just finish. I've gotten submissiveness. I've gotten not gonna lie, I did feel like a fetish, but I've gotten other things that I've gotten from Latinas also. So do you think because I'm not a black male, do you think that's the reason why they would treat me different?
Bull
but
crap.
Rod, but
Who
Rod,
want to go first?
one question.
I'm just asking.
One question that I want to say. Did you marry them?
No, I didn't marry them. We were
Why?
dating.
Why?
And you didn't give them kids, right?
No.
But
Okay,
why?
so there you go.
I know I'm Latino, but goddamn, bro.
No, but look, but why you didn't marry them?
All right.
Well, different reasons. Different reasons. I could say one reason now. One shorty, I was dealing with. She said that she doesn't like. I really don't like going to the clubs or partying like that. And she said that she wasn't like that too. But yet every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, she's always going to a party and party. So to me, that was a red flag.
So she wasn't submissive because
No. What I'm saying is, to me, that was a red flag from what you just told me for what you just do. You know what I'm saying? So from there, I just
Rod, that's not submission, because when you're submissive to your man, what man in the chat or in the panel, which man out here wants his girl at the club every week? You want your woman at the home.
Exactly.
You don't want your wife or your wife to be at the club for everyone to give her attention. Not even with you. I don't go with my man to the club. I haven't been in a club in almost more than over a decade. So I don't know why,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Somebody said submissiveness is for husbands, not boyfriends.
No,
hey, get married. That's the answer. Get married then.
No, but this is the thing. This is my thing. Hazel, are you a Christian? And another thing that I would say, a man, a boyfriend, and a girlfriend, that's a trial run for marriage.
Yeah, that's
so.
What it is.
And I bet you that the people that think like Hazel, and I'm not taking on you, Hazel. I know that you're a good girl, but look, the people that actually say this type of things are other women that are bitter or people that have been misinformed. Because when you go at a job interview, do you give them, before they give you the permanent position, do you give them your best? So if you can do that for a job, why can you do that for a social job, which is your boyfriend? Again, it's about trust. It's not control.
Let me answer her. She says, and I'm married. I've never submitted to my husband. It's not required here. And she goes on to say, and I'm not a Christian. Laughing emojis.
Well,
so the simple answer is she has one of those husbands. No, I'm not one to judge anyone's relationship. I don't know what the arrangement is. I'm just talking about the rule of thumb out here. Now, my thing is, with regards to what Kevin said, a lot of these ladies, I love when he said that stuff, like you submit only to people that are worthy. The problem is that we have a lot of modern women today going on first dates, caring more about the type of restaurant they're being taken to than to asking important questions like, do you believe in providing? Do you have skills to defend me? Do you want to have children? What's your expectation of me after I have my first kid? Those are questions that you want to ask at the beginning in the first date. Not if you're going to have the golden ribeye. Nobody cares about that. You gotta start your relationship.
The golden rebuy is kind of fire, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, MK, before we even got to be in a relationship, he told me straight out of the bat, I want children. If you don't want them, that it's okay. I can't be in a relationship with you.
Girl.
That was it. Before he even told me, yeah, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. No. That's exactly what he said. And I had to agree or disagree.
Give me 1 minute, Denise. I got Hazel. Is this you?
Yes, it's me.
Hey, Hazel. What's going on? I didn't see you in the back. I'm sorry.
Hey, Hazel. How you doing?
Hey, no, it's okay. It's okay.
I am gonna start wrapping.
What's up, Hazel? How you doing?
What's up, Hazel?
I'm going to start wrapping it up, but Hazel, finish. I got you into the room. Shout out to you. Do you got anything to add to this?
Not about this video here. I'm a big believer in you can't be sitting around waiting for someone to do what you think they should do. You need to go out there and do it on your own. So if the men are not building, I suggest that the women should. because to sit here and complain is not going to get anything done.
True.
I cannot say to compare communities, okay, because like you said, in other community, in other states and stuff like that, there is successful communities. There's also community in our own community is not successful. But what I wanted to go with this, every man does not want the same thing. Now, I don't know what women like me means, because women like me wasn't looking for marriage. Women like me is not going to listen to anybody to tell me what I should and shouldn't do to get a husband. I wasn't looking for that. I was myself. And a man should know what he wants in a wife and see that in whatever particular woman he's looking for and marry that. Now, I cannot say what I did, how I lived my life, and how I walked this earth is going to work for every woman. I was not looking for marriage. My husband was actually my friend for a while before anything got serious. We cannot speak for all men. We cannot speak for all women. What man likes is not the same as another. There's not a lot of women out here that are very feminine or believe in all these things and are married. Not every woman believes in submission and is married. I don't believe in that. Yes, I grew up as a Catholic. I was raised Catholic, but as an adult, I went my own path. And my husband is a Christian. He's not a very strict one. He's not one of those in the church all the time. But what he saw in me was someone who was responsible, someone who was loving, someone who was understanding, someone who was respectful, and also a woman who was going to stick up for herself. And whenever I felt that something was wrong or I didn't agree with something, I spoke about it. Yes, he's the leader, but a leader also listens. A leader also understands that just because you're the head of the household doesn't mean that you're always going to get your way, that you're always right. And it doesn't hurt to listen to someone else. And I think that's where my marriage works. Yes, he is the head of the household. He knows that. He knows that he's supposed to protect and provide. He knows he's responsible for all of that. Even if we get divorced, he knows that he is still responsible to take care of me, to take care of the children, but in a respectful way. I cannot go around here saying that women have to act a certain way to get a husband. What I will say is, in regards to women who feel like they're not being protected and that they're not being provided for, you cannot sit around complaining about that. I understand that you see that in other communities. I understand that it's nice to see that. However, this is your life. You only have a short one. There's only one to live, and you have to provide for yourself however way you see fit. Hopefully it's legal, and you have to protect for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to put anybody's relationship down. I don't want to put it. I don't want anybody to think that it's okay to stay with a man who's cheating and beating on you and having babies outside.
Does anybody want to respond to Hazel?
I never said that you have to stay
I'll
through
let these two
anything.
women go, then I'll respond.
This is my thing. You don't have to stay through anything. I'm just saying, I even said it. You got to evaluate if you can.
Yes, it depends on the situation.
Rearrange with your men. Now, my thing.
Okay. Reassess the boundaries of the marriage. Because infidelity is a right for a woman to get a divorce. Having a child out of your marriage is legally right for you to get a divorce.
But a lot of women, Hazel, are willing to stay even through all of that. I know plenty.
I know.
So,
and that's unfortunate.
no, it's not unfortunate because because you got this is
because now that money that was for your family is going to another household.
But let me finish. This is my thing. And this is the problem that I have with us women, and I say us because I also do this thing sometimes. We gotta understand and respect that we can't shame the woman that stays after infidelity because we're going against what we're preaching. If we're preaching options and choice, we gotta also believe and understand that was their choice and they're happy with it, and we need to support that woman, not shame that woman and call her weak, or not saying that you do these things, but a lot of our collective does that. Now, my thing is, with what you're saying, I'm very happy that your marriage is that structured that way. You guys came to that arrangement. That's amazing. My thing is, do you recommend 18 to 30-year-old women to follow your path in order to secure a husband?
I don't recommend any woman to do anything in order to get any man. I
No,
recommend
I said
women.
your specific path. Do you recommend women? You say, hey, follow my example, and it will guarantee you a husband. But can you?
I just finished saying earlier that I don't do that. I just finished saying earlier that I don't recommend what I will work for me. I recommend, this is what I've always recommend when someone asks me, especially young women, to be yourself. If there is someone who likes you for who you are, they will gravitate to you. If not, then it's just not meant to be. I don't think that women should be told to be any type of way to get a man, because guess what happens? A lot of these women out here, unfortunately, they be what the man wants, and then when they get married, she turns into a whole different person.
No, that this is the thing. Again, we're coming from the standpoint of distrusting men's right off the bat, and that is a problem. Women, we were not made to remain single till the end of times, and that is a fact. The fact that women overwhelming, we are 79% the population on welfare. That tells you women
overall.
79% of the people on welfare are women, females.
Oh, I thought it was children.
Because no, it's us. It's
women.
Us with our children.
I thought it was Caucasian women.
No,
Caucasian children.
I don't care if it's women across
He's
the
talking
board.
about all women, all races of women now.
We are not made to be unprotected. So what the government has done is say, hey, this collective of the population is hemorrhaging itself, so I'm going to put a little band-aid on it, because otherwise they'll die. So we are not meant for that. We are not built for that. We need a husband. And the problem is that a lot of women are teaching other women this craziness, and we're not being honest to a degree with younger ladies, that when they turn 45 and they start feeling lonely, because I've seen it, beautiful women that some of them are my friends and my family, when they turn 45, that's when loneliness starts to kick in. And when that happens,
for some women, we cannot keep saying that all women are lonely.
Hazel.
Not all women are things like that. But that's the truth.
Denisse is saying it's based off studies, Miss Hazel. Come on.
But you know what? There also studies say that the happiest women who live the longest are single and childless. There's studies on that too. I'm not recommending anything for any woman. The only thing I'm recommending is that women have to be who they are. And if men don't like it, if a man doesn't like it, move on to the next, because there's other women
but also,
that he can relate to.
Also, wait, real quick. Also, Hazel, we can't use outliers as the whole general thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
outliers of what? Outliers of what?
No, outliers meaning, for example, what's a woman? A woman is someone that gets pregnant, and then you'll say, well,
I don't know nothing about that.
All women get pregnant. You know what? Those are outliers. Like
I don't know anything about that. What I do know is that there's studies saying that the happiest women that live the longest don't have husbands and never had children. That is also a study.
Well, they don't have any responsibility.
Let me finish.
The same study also says those are the biggest contributors to buying multiple cats and dogs.
Look,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's so many homeless cats and dogs anyway.
That study came from Petco.
Let's go.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of irresponsible mothers out there. There's a lot of irresponsible fathers out there. Maybe everybody shouldn't be having children either.
Then Hazel, let's go then through what you just said. So you mean to tell me that you are more unhappy that a woman living with 3 cats at 65 years old? You are more unhappy than her.
I don't know anybody who is single and have all those cats living alone at all.
Well, Hazel, let me ask you something.
Hold on.
I'm just telling you what a study said. I'm only telling you what a study said. That's all I can tell you.
If you don't know any women like that, and that is a study that has yet to be proven, because majority of women, 89% of women have reproduced.
But I
So-
can tell you this. I was at a restaurant where there was older women. They were like in their 60s and 70s. They were at a restaurant and they ordered wine. The first thing they ordered was wine, right? And they cheered, right? They cleaned the little wine glasses to their husbands being dead and their children out of the house.
Again,
Okay.
like
But they had husbands.
That's because
But they're happy that they're alone now. They're happy that they're alone now. I guess what I'm saying is that the women, each woman is different.
Look,
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something.
No,
I'm
but
gonna
hold
say
on,
this.
but hold on. Let me
Let
finish.
Denise finish.
Let me finish. So if that's the case, that's why I ask you. And this is a problem that I'm seeing. And for the people that don't believe me, when I say this is infecting massively the Latin community, this is what I've been talking about. It is infecting our people massively.
What is infecting them?
It was infecting is the fact that we don't see the writing on the wall, that we want to look down upon our ancestry and say that the women in our community that actually believe in duty were wrong, and we're looking down on them without seeing that if it destroyed the most married community in history in the United States, if it destroyed them to this point, what makes you think that it's not going to destroy the Latino community? And
I don't see that. I honestly don't see that.
You might not see that. You're not going to see it because it's not going to happen in our lifetime. It's going to happen to your children and the
gradually.
children.
It's going to happen gradually.
Now,
Okay.
my thing is, you can fight me. You can find the stats. You can find whatever is the teachings that we're talking about. But when women used to think like my grandma, when women used to think like my great grandma, somehow it worked. Somehow it did. So if it worked, if it ain't broken, why try to fix it again?
But it worked for her. I have a grandmother who didn't do what you were suggesting.
Well, but that's
I had a great grandmother who was forced to marry her rapist when she was 15 and he was 31, and she got out of that marriage. She didn't stay; she was forced to.
Again.
So we have to be very careful with what we're teaching women as well.
No, we don't.
You just identified an
Yes, we
outlying
do.
situation.
Wait,
Wait,
hold on, because I'm about to start wrapping up real quick. Hazel, I want you to, I don't know if you want to answer this, but there was a comment that said Hazel's a typical black woman in terms of attitude. Do you got something to say about that?
If that's how you think about, if you think that low of black women, you're talking about yourself. And how dare you talk low about your own family, the women in your community.
Yeah.
And you know something? Okay. If you think that low about them, then maybe you should stay away from them. They don't need someone like you talking bad about and making a whole blanket statement about a whole community of women, because there's a lot of black women who are wonderful. And they have the same values that some of the men up here are saying.
Yeah.
But to blanket them and saying that that all black women are like me or like that, honey, I'm married. I have a family. I just have different views, and that's okay. So that's wrong.
I want Kevin C to go, and then Rakim, and then I'm gonna end it. Kevin C, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I'll just say this. Look, if women don't want to get married and they don't want to, have to deal with a man or all this other stuff and everything else, no problem. Just don't. But don't be out here making kids out of wedlock and then expecting other guys to come in and pick up the slack. We're not going to do that. All right. The other thing too is, and this is where Hazel is wrong. I know she just left, but this is where she's wrong.
Oh, she left? Shit.
Or you took her out. She either left or you took her down.
No. She left. I didn't take her down.
Okay. The reason she's wrong is that one of the reasons that black woman is complaining is because she can't do it. Women, look, this is gonna sound sexist, and I'm not the sexist dude. But look, here's something that women need to understand this very, very thoroughly. Y'all can't do what we do. You can't be us. You can't be men. You can't work like us. You can't produce like us. You have no interest in doing it anyway. You're not built for it. All right. So don't try to do what men do. Be what you are. Be the woman. We'll be the man, and we'll do what we're supposed to do. You got to find the guy that's willing to do all of that stuff for you. So all of this, so that woman with the red hair in the video running around with her little TikTok and making videos and nonsense like that, all she has to do, or all she should have done when she was somewhere between 18 and 25, was find a husband, And I guarantee you, she probably would have been a good husband, not a knucklehead husband, but a good husband that would have take care of her, take care of the kids, and actually have her in a house and in a nice community. Solid women in good marriages don't run around making TikToks talking about what Negroes are not doing. All right. My wife is black. She's married. And you know what? Not only that, my daughters too. I wouldn't obviously hit my daughters or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I would hard check them on them saying something about
I got a
black
question.
men, knowing that they grew up with a father who made sure who put them in a good situation, so that way they could go out and be wives to good black men or good men.
I got a question for you. Are your daughters Honduran also or no?
No. Well, the one you met, Sarah, yeah, she is, but the other two are not, and then my son is not. That being said, we don't care what women do. Just don't expect random men to do it for you. And that's where women are having the trouble. That's where the shortfall lies. She said, well, don't wait for the men to do it. Go out and do it yourself. The bottom line is, you women, you can't do it. That if you could do it, then you should go out and do it yourself, and you shut up about it, and we men wouldn't even hear about it. You'd actually be able to eliminate the men, but you can't do it. Because you're not like us, you're not built like us, you don't work like us, you don't have the mindset that we have, you don't have the drive that we have when it comes to actually doing hard work and physical labor and going 24 to 72 hours. Women cannot do it. Not only can they not do it, they don't want to do it. They want other men to do it for them. So if you want that, then get a doggone husband. If you're not going to get a husband, then we don't want to hear anything you have to say. Anything you say outside of having a husband is invalid. That's not
only that, to piggyback to what Kevin was saying, I want to know, and I wish Hazel was here. Name me a society that was completely built by women and is still standing today. And again, it's women have been free to choose careers for almost 60 years.
Wait a minute.
Women can't even build a bridge.
Wait. I think I know the society. I think I know the society. Wait, it's called
Paradise.
It's called Thermoscat. Oh no, that's fictional.
You're talking about maybe the Amazons, but they were created by a man. By God.
Yeah, they were created by men. Weren't they the warriors or something like that?
Yeah. The other thing too is these women who are producing kids out of wedlock with men who are irresponsible. You need to go find that guy who produced that kid, and you need to deal with that man. Don't put it on somebody else. The other thing too, same thing with the men who are non-black. Go find that white man, the Hispanic man, or that Asian man, and put that baby on him. Don't bring those kids over to us. We are not going to take care of them because black men have decided we're not making up for other people's errors. We're not doing that.
Wait, real quick.
As a collective, we decided we're not doing that. Not only that, we made sure that we're telling young men not to do that.
All right, real quick. I'm about to end it right now. But Rakim, I see you in the back, but it says device not connected. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, listen. Thank you thank you for everybody coming in. Thank you very much. I'm definitely gonna have this panel in the back, and if you guys want to join in, just go to the link and go to the back, and I'm gonna catch everybody later. Peace.